Hello, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast. It's NWSL Challenge Cup action after dark from Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. The Portland Thorns take on their bitter rivals, OL Reign. A Cascadia rivalry on display tonight in the West Division. All to play for in this NWSL Challenge Cup. The Portland Thorns with a perfect 6 points through their opening two matches, and with a win tonight, would clinch a spot in the NWSL Challenge Cup final. Remember, just the top team from the West and East Division qualifies for the NWSL Challenge Cup final. What's going on, Drew? Welcome into the broadcast. It's school vacation week for me, Drew. That's why I'm able to do this game. This is the National Women's Soccer League. It's the Women's Soccer League here in the United States, and we are underway. Arguably the best rivalry in women's soccer is upon us. This game always has fireworks. The OL Reign have played one game so far in this Challenge Cup. That was a draw, as Portland are in their black kits going from left to right in this first half. The Reign in all white going from right to left in this first half. No, unfortunately, Drew, I have to head to bed after this game. I'm sorry, but maybe another time. Yeah, I've got to go to bed after this game because I'm going to Boston tomorrow. So yeah, I can't, unfortunately, but thanks for the offer, though. Here are Portland in possession. I'll get to the starting lineups in a moment. Here is Simone Charlie. That pass off the feet of Sinclair. One back in the midfield by Crystal Dunn. This week, all of the international players are back with their NWSL clubs. Of course, the NWSL Challenge Cup began during the FIFA window. So all of the players on duty for the U.S. and other countries weren't available for their clubs. That's a handball against Sophia Smith. Free kick for the Reign. I'll get to the starting lineups right now. For Portland, it's Adriana Franch in goal as usual. The back line consisting of Megan Klingenberg, Becky Sauerbrunn, Kuika, and Kelly Hubley. The two holding mids, Lindsay Horan and Angela Salem. In the rest of the midfield, it's Simone Charlie, Christine Sinclair, and Crystal Dunn. And then up top, it is Sophia Smith. That's a great pass from Smith to Sinclair. The through ball cannot be chased down by Charlie, as it's picked up by the OL goalkeeper, Karen Bardsley. Portland are led by head coach Mark Parsons. On the other side for the OL Reign, they are led by French coach Farid Benstiti. In goal is Karen Bardsley. At the back, it's Kristen McNabb, Madison Hammond, Amber Brooks, and Celia Jimenez. The two holding mids are Quinn and Shirley Cruz. In the rest of the midfield, it's Ziara King, Sofia Huerta, Angelina, and then up top, it's Bethany Balser. Good delivery here, but the header by Balser is right to the hands of French. The best look yet for the Reign, though. A long throw here for Lindsay Horan. Horan's knocked out of possession. The steal there by Kristen McNabb. McNabb, the left back for OL Reign. And now this is moved to the near side with McNabb. Defended by Horan. That pass stolen by Lindsay Horan momentarily, but it's quickly back into the possession of OL. Here's Madison Hammond. Hammond gets it back from Brooks. The Reign working it out of the back. Some pressure here. Sophia Smith almost able to come away with the steal and forces Hammond to pass it out of play. It will be a Thorns throw-in. But yeah, just a minute ago, Bethany Balser had a pretty good opportunity. She was left unmarked inside the 6, but ultimately her header comfortably saved by French. And if the West Division is playing out very interestingly, there's been a lot of draws except for the games Portland have been involved in. This is a great ball over the top. Charlie is in. Charlie cutting onto her right foot. Her original shot saved, second effort. And that is dealt with by Karen Bardsley, who's been tested quite a bit early on. But yeah, Portland with 2 wins out of 2 so far. Remember, there's 4 games in the group stage, and the top team from the West and East meet in the final, which will take place in about 2.5 weeks from now. And Crystal Dunn is in possession. But yeah, the Reign have just played 1 game with 1 point, so there's still life for them if they can get the win tonight. But if they don't get the win, then the Thorns are certainly in the driver's seat. Even though a draw wouldn't officially clinch Portland's place in the final, it would certainly put them in good position to get to the final. Sienna, unfortunately, I cannot show the game for copyright reasons. I would if I was allowed to, but YouTube is very strict with their copyright rules, and I don't want my channel to get banned by being caught, for copyright issues. And I've had a friend who's commentated games before and have shown it, and his channel got banned for like a couple months. So I don't want that to happen. So I don't want to risk anything. If I was allowed to, I would, but that's why I put in the description that this is my live play-by-play commentary, because I am not allowed to show the game, unfortunately. But if you are in the U.S., this game is being shown on CBS Sports Network, and I believe for viewers outside of the U.S., you can find it on the NWSL's Twitch channel as Christine Sinclair is in. However, the flag is raised, offsides called against Portland. The OL Reign, of course, being partners with Olympique Lyon in France, have an advantage in that sense because they do have the ability to acquire players from Lyon, and that's exactly what they did just days ago as they got Marozan, the star for Germany, and Buhati of France, who I believe joined the team later this week. So big news for the OL Reign, who are certainly going all in this season in the NWSL. As that pass is intercepted by Becky Sauerbrun, the anchor at the back for Portland. Haran will switch it over to Sofia Huerta. Huerta with a positive first touch and draws the foul. Sorry, that was Kuika. The foul committed by McNabb as Huerta was applying the pressure. Free kick awarded to the Thorns. Megan Rapinoe on the bench for OL. I'm not sure exactly why. I don't think she's nursing any type of injury, but you could certainly expect her to come off the bench, perhaps as soon as halftime, if not early second half. We'll see. Mike Parsons was the NWSL Coach of the Year in 2016. He's been at the helm of the Thorns for 6 seasons now. Dunn with a heavy first touch. Sinclair comes in to maintain possession. Now it's back with Hubley across the back for the captain, Sauerbrun. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Sofia Huerta, the former Stanford standout, lofts it over the top. Great ball towards Charlie. Punching it away is Bardsley, and a foul will be called against the Thorns. What a chance. Portland getting some good looks early on, and Charlie has been a menace for Portland up top, really causing some issues for OL's defense. And how about that ball over the top by Sophia Smith? And Bardsley came out to punch it away. And Charlie following through, called for the foul as she contested that bouncing ball. Good luck for the Thorns. It's great to see fans at Providence Park. We all know how great the fan base is for the Portland Timbers, but the Portland Thorns have a great fan base as well. they've routinely have got sold-out crowds in the past, pre-COVID, of course. But even with the limited capacity allowed due to COVID-19, there is still a good atmosphere at Providence Park, a good amount of noise from the crowd, especially for a rivalry game like this. Here's Balser, sends one towards the back post, but no one there to answer. And Megan Klingenberg will move it upfield for Portland. I appreciate that, Sally. Yeah, that's my goal, to become a professional commentator. I'm glad you think I sound like one. That's the goal. What a nutmeg there. Beautifully done. Ball played towards the corner flag, but well in front of Simone Charlie. And this is played back to Bardsley, and her pass is out of play for a Portland throw-in. The sun's still out in Portland, Oregon. A Pacific Northwest rivalry game between these two teams. The OL Reign, formerly called the Seattle Reign. In case any of you were confused as to why they're called OL Reign, they were bought out by the Lyon ownership group. Lyon, of course, have been a great, pretty much the best women's club in France year after year, although just this past weekend they were knocked out by their French rivals PSG in the Women's Champions League. And I believe Lyon had won 5 Champions Leagues in a row, so that will change this year. Lindsay Horan with the takeaway. Horan still going down the left flank. Just over 10 minutes played, no score at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. Sauerbrunt over to Hubley. Deflected pass taken away by the Reign. Here is Ziara King, who was with the Utah Royals last year. Utah, who moved to Kansas City in the offseason, so they're back to their original home. Am I a fan of Tobin Heath? Yeah, I am. I've always loved watching Tobin Heath play. She's so good on the ball. Yeah, she's a fun player to watch. She's your absolute favorite? Yeah, no, I do like Heath. She's one of my favorite players on the U.S. Women's National Team. Unfortunately, she's been dealing with some setbacks with injuries over at Man United. Yeah, Tobin Heath, who, of course, played with the Portland Thorns before making the move last year to England to play with Man United. Here's a left-footed strike from distance. Easy save from French. The effort came from Kristen McNabb. A long punt by French. The ensuing runner is Sophia Smith. This ball popped in the air. It falls to Smith, and it looked like she was whistled for a handball. She can't believe the call. Free kick for OL as the Reign catch a bit of a break. I appreciate that a lot, Nabil. I appreciate that, man. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm glad you guys enjoy the commentary. I absolutely love doing it, so I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And yeah, I will keep up the work. I definitely will. That's for sure. I'm glad you enjoy it. As that pass is stolen away, kept in play on the far side. Somehow that ball did not go over the end line. It's stolen by Klingenberg. She went for the Maradona, but it's stolen away by Angelina. And that's out for an OL throw-in. It will be taken by Celia Jimenez. Balser flicks it on to Sofia Huerta. Huerta gets it back from Jimenez. Huerta with some pace gets around Klingenberg, who commits the foul. Free kick on the way for OL, and this is in a very promising position. First foul of the game. Well, there was a handball on Sophia Smith, but first free kick in the attacking third for either side. And standing over it is Huerta for the Reign. A rivalry game in the NWSL Challenge Cup. A lot up for grabs. A Portland win would clinch their first place spot in the West and a spot in the NWSL Challenge Cup final. A win for the Reign, and they would be 2 points back of Portland with a game in hand. And it would certainly make things interesting heading into the final week of the group stage before the final in about 2.5 weeks. The service in from Huerta over the bar. A wasted set piece for the visitors. Lindsey Horan taps it back for Becky Sauerbrunt. Ahead to Christine Sinclair. Sinclair, the Canadian international, who just keeps on producing. I don't know her exact age now, but Sinclair, certainly a Canadian legend, and has been with Portland for quite a while now. Horan's fouled. A quick restart as she takes the free kick. 15 minutes in, no score at Providence Park. Here's Sinclair. She hits the brakes. Horan to Sophia Smith. Smith went down. A late whistle, but a foul is called. And it's a free kick on the way for the Thorns. The foul going against Amber Brooks. And this is a really good look from just a few yards outside the penalty area. Yeah, Smith had her back to goal. And that's just a bad foul to commit by Brooks. And it's no surprise, Sinclair and Horan standing over the ball. The Portland Thorns fans making their voices heard. This is a great opportunity for the hosts early on at Providence Park. About 3 yards outside the box. The OL Reign wall is set. 5 on the wall for the Reign. And it will be Horan to take. Here's the strike. Oh, what a goal. Lindsey Horan with quite the golazo to open up the scoring here in the Cascadia rivalry between these two sides. Over the wall and into the left corner. Lindsey Horan with an absolutely brilliantly struck free kick. And from that kind of range, she made absolutely no mistakes. 17 minutes in, it's Portland 1, OL 0. Wow. She got the height she needed over the wall and the dip as well. No chance for Karen Bardsley in goal. And the Thorns have struck blood first. The fans at Providence Park with reason to celebrate, as the hosts have taken the lead over their rivals 17 minutes in. Wow, what a goal that was from Lindsey Horan. A costly foul to commit at that area of the pitch. And the Thorns were there to capitalize. It's Horan's first goal of the Challenge Cup. She featured for the United States just a week ago in their visits to Europe, where they took on Sweden and France in a pair of friendlies. That game against France was just 8 days ago. And now Horan, in her first game with the Thorns this season, wasting no time getting on the score sheet. Let's see how OL now responds, as this is possessed in the midfield by Angela Salem. Horan ahead to Christine Sinclair. Portland won a second. The through ball just ahead of Charlie. And Bardsley is quick off of her line to claim that ball. But Portland certainly the better side. They had 2 wins in their first 2 matches without their international players. And now with the likes of, Sophia Smith, Christine Sinclair, Crystal Dunn, and Lindsey Horan back in the picture, as well as Becky Sauerbrunn, of course. This is a scary team. Remember, Portland with a win tonight punched their ticket to the NWSL Challenge Cup final. The OL Reign, though, still with plenty of time to battle back. We've seen some epic matches in the past between these two rivals. Still a long way to go. Sophia Smith with the pressure. It's played off of her. It'll be a throw-in for the Reign. It's thrown down the line. The steal by Sinclair. Here's Smith in tight space. Has her pocket picked by Bethany Balser. Balser sends it ahead, but no one there for OL. Sauerbrun to Lindsey Horan. Portland setting the tempo in this one. A 1-0 lead here in the opening half of play. Sinclair lays it wide. And Kuika trying to get around Kristen McNabb, but McNabb did well to shield that ball over the end line to earn the goal kick. 20th minute, Lindsey Horan's free kick goal in the 17th minute, the difference between the two sides. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by tonight, late night, where I am here on the East Coast. NWSL After Dark, prime time in the Pacific Northwest for this rivalry game. Header won by Horan off the goal kick. Heavy touch by Smith. It's stolen by OL. The Reign haven't really tested French all that much, as the Thorns quickly get possession back in their hands. Sauerbrun for French. One more game for Portland after this before the final, but if they can win tonight, that game would essentially become an exhibition for them, because a win tonight would mean that they're through to the final. 2 more games after this for the Reign, but they'll need at least a draw, probably a win, to give them a real shot at catching Portland in the table. Horan to Sinclair. Sinclair on the turn has her left-footed strike deflected, and now Simone Charlie chases it down. Charlie back for Kuika. Charlie with a great move to get by the defender. Charlie clips one in just over the head of Sinclair. Now at the back post, it's settled down by Sophia Smith. Played across out of the reach of Charlie, who was in an offside position. The flag raised on the near side, but the Thorns certainly threatening. And it doesn't seem like the OL Reign have any answers about midway through the opening half of play. Free kick will be taken here by Karen Bardsley. Ball contested in the air, eventually controlled by Crystal Dunn of Portland. Dunn, who was also part of that U.S. Women's National Team camp in Europe a couple weeks ago. Foul committed in the midfield by Angelina. The Thorns are looking for a quick restart, but the referee will bring it back. 1-0 lead for Portland. Lindsey Horan, the goal scorer. She was the 2018 NWSL MVP and voted as part of the best 11. As her through ball there is right into the hands of Karen Bardsley. Yeah, we've got 13 in here. Absolutely, Drew. I appreciate everyone tuning in here on YouTube. Much appreciated, as always, guys. You're going to film your YouTube video now. All right. Yeah, you have a good night as well, Drew. Yeah, sorry I can't join you tonight, but perhaps in the future when I have the opportunity. But yeah, good luck on your YouTube video, and thanks for stopping by, Drew. Here's Crystal Dunn. Dunn to Sinclair. Played back by Charlie. Quinn's there to intercept. McNabb with a risky pass as she sent it back to Bardsley. She had to clear it away one time in a hurry. Now the play it goes for a Portland throw-in. Yeah, that's a really risky pass. Charlie was ready to pounce for Portland. Klingenberg finds Dunn. Dunn, good service. Header by Brooks. Out for another Thorns throw-in. Portland all over OL here. So far in the first half, this Thorns team is no joke. Here is Sauerbrunt. Sauerbrunt, who's in her second season with Portland, although it's really her first. She did play in the Challenge Cup last summer in Utah, but I believe she was injured in the first or second game of that tournament. And so she was out for the rest of the season. I don't believe, or the rest of the tournament, I don't believe she participated in the fall series. She might have. I can't remember. But, that was obviously a strange season with COVID, changing plans a bit. Now we've got a full season, but due to the success of the Challenge Cup last summer, they kept it, which I like. It's kind of like a League Cup to kick the season off, which is what we have here. And then after the NWSL Challenge Cup concludes, a few weeks later, the regular season will begin. We have expanded playoffs as well. Now it'll be 6 teams in the postseason, racing Louisville, the expansion side. So we're up to 10 teams in the NWSL. And then next year it'll be 11 with Angel FC coming in. That's off of Brooks for a Portland throw. And you can tell the frustration is mounting for OL. They just have been on the back foot throughout. 25 minutes played now. And they've had a really tough time getting possession of the ball, never mind creating opportunities at the other end of the pitch. First corner of the match here for the Thorns. Kuika plays it short. She'll get it back. Now it's out to Crystal Dunn. Dunn over to Hubley. Now Klingenberg with a direct driven ball into the box. Headed away by OL. And here come the Reign on the counter. King with the lead touch. King still going. No support though, and Crystal Dunn tracks back to win possession for the Thorns. She finds French. Seems like a nice night in Portland. I don't know the exact weather in Portland, but it does look like a nice night in Oregon. Here's Lindsay Horan. Horan finds Klingenberg. Klingenberg with the cross in. Getting in the way for OL was Celia Jimenez. But it is a corner kick conceded. Another opportunity for the Thorns. They've already scored from a set piece. A brilliant free kick from Lindsay Horan. And they're now looking to double the advantage. Here comes the service from Klingenberg. She decides to play it on the ground. And a strike from distance just over the bar. It wasn't a bad effort from Crystal Dunn. It's from a ways out. Couldn't quite put it on target in the end. Right-footed strike as she let it fly. And Bardsley certainly had to think about it. She had to certainly react. But in the end, it was just over the crossbar. This is out for a Reign throw-in. Over to take it is Kristen McNabb. Three games today in the NWSL Challenge Cup, including this one. There were 2 earlier in the day, which I'll talk all about at halftime. One in the east, the other in the west. As Horan plays it out wide into space with Klingenberg. Klingenberg sends it in. It could not get through to Horan. A nice header by Madison Hammond. Closing in on the half-hour mark. Another back pass for Bardsley. She's quick to get there. All the 50-50 balls won by the Thorns. The Thorns with, I assume, the heavy edge in possession. I'd like to see the possession stats. It is Portland with a 1-0 lead. On the near side, it's Kuika. Kuika over to Crystal Dunn. Now it's Sauerbrunt. On the left flank. That pass given away. Miscommunication. And if the Reign want to score, you think the best chance they have is on the counter. Here's Sofia Huerta. Nice move to get by the defender Hubley. Here's a chance in the box. The deflected cross lands to Balser. Balser along the end line, cuts it back. The strike saved by French. The first time France has had to make a real effort in denying a goal-scoring opportunity for the Reign. That's better from OL. Yeah, the original attempted clearance from Kuika was blocked off by Balser, and that's what created that chance. And now here come Portland. Sophia Smith flying ahead. She has pace. Edge of the box. Got the ball caught up underneath her. And it's stolen by the Reign. That pass to King is off the mark. Kuika steps up for the steal. Now it's Simone Charlie. Charlie still going. Gets around the defense. But Bardsley is quick off her line to claim. Portland have a whole lot of pace up top between Charlie and Smith. It's certainly not easy for any defense going up against this Portland attack. Half hour in, 1-0 Portland lead. Thanks everyone for stopping by tonight. It's the NWSL Challenge Cup. As King is fouled, free kick on the way for the Reign. About 15 minutes to play in the first half from Providence Park, home of both the Timbers in MLS and the Thorns of the NWSL. Oh, I greatly appreciate that, Henry. Yeah, I enjoy doing it. I know you'd love to watch. Unfortunately, for copyright reasons, I'm not allowed to show the game. I hope you guys tuning in understand that. I would show the game if I was allowed to, but YouTube are very strict with copyright, so I can't show it, unfortunately. For those of you in the U.S. tuning in, this game is on CBS Sports Network. If you guys have that channel, that's where you can find it. If you're outside the U.S., I believe it's on the NWSL's Twitch channel for free. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in, Henry, and I appreciate everyone who stopped by across YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Here come the Reign on the attack. Angelina has a deflected cross go over the end line for a corner kick. It's CBS Sports Network, so it's not on over-the-air CBS. It's on CBS Sports Network. So no, it is not free. You have to have cable to get the channel, unfortunately. So yeah, I have Comcast. So it's channel 856 for any of you who have Comcast. But yeah, unfortunately, you have to have cable to access this match. Most matches in this NWSL Challenge Cup are on Paramount Plus, which is CBS's streaming service, but a few select matches are being aired on CBS Sports Network, which is on cable. But then the final will be on over-the-air CBS, which is great to see. That will be Saturday, May 8th, I believe it is. As Haran gives it away. Here come OL, but that final pass had too much pace on it. You can see the idea from Shirley Cruz. Goal kick coming up for the Thorns. Yeah, no problem, Henry. No problem, man. Yeah. Yeah, the rest of the matches in the group stage are on Paramount Plus. Which is their streaming service. I'd highly recommend it. It's about, I think it's $6 a month, $5.99 a month, and they've got also outside the NWSL, they also have the Champions League, Europa League. They now have the Brazilian and Argentinian league as well for you soccer fans on here. Yeah, I'd recommend Paramount Plus for sure. Not just because they have the, a lot of the games here from the NWSL, but they also got those other leagues. They'll also have U.S. men's and women's national team World Cup qualifiers too. So yeah. And then the final will be on over-the-air CBS. So here's a through ball by King. In is Balser. She gets around Franch. A tight angle here. Balser looking across. Oh, the shot just wide. Making the run to the edge of the six was Angela Salem, and that was the best chance yet for the visitors. And now at the other end, here come Portland. It's sent ahead by Smith. On the end of it is Simone Charlie. Charlie looking for support. Cuts it inside. She gets around the defender. Hammond, shot blocked, and the second attempt sent over the bar. Christine Sinclair with the opportunity. I'll tell you what, this game really starting to open up end-to-end action. We went from a great chance at one end for OL. Balser got around Franch, but it was too tight of an angle to go for goal as she unselfishly sent it across. Salem didn't really get that good of a touch on it. And then at the other end, almost immediately thereafter, Portland on the counter creating a chance as the pass from Charlie was blocked. It went right to the path of Sinclair, and her effort went over the bar. Here comes Portland. It's Lindsay Horan, the goal scorer, into Charlie. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Charlie to Sinclair. Sinclair, the strike blocked. Second attempt also blocked. Now it comes out only as far as Portland's Angela Salem. Oh, well, with numbers behind the ball. Oh, that's a great pass, but misfired in the end. The left-footed strike from Kuika went well wide. She was going for the near post, but in the end didn't get the contact she was seeking. But the Thorns certainly seem to be on the verge of a second goal. OL have been doing a better job of creating chances at the other end. A very open game. That next goal, depending on who gets it, will be very crucial when it comes to deciding the outcome of this very important Challenge Cup match in the West Division. There's a steal by Balser. Oh, well, we'll work it out of the back. Bit of pressure applied by Portland, but the rain escape. But steps Sinclair to come away with the steal. On the left wing, it's sent up the sideline. Bardsley is there to claim that cross for OL. She's looked pretty comfortable in goal. Karen Bardsley for OL. There was really nothing she could do about that beautiful Horan free kick, which is the difference between these two sides. Now down the left wing, it's Klingenberg. Klingenberg's cross was aimed towards Sophia Smith. Last touched by Jimenez. It will be a corner kick on the way for the Thorns. Portland won a second before the interval. Halftime just around the corner. Third corner kick of this match for Portland. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by tonight. Late night on the East Coast. Prime time in the Pacific Northwest for this rivalry game. The fans making noise at Providence Park. Here's the in-swinging delivery. Headed away by, I believe, Puerta. Portland, though, back in possession. Here's Kuika. Ball floated in. Bardsley's there as she snags that one out of the air. 38 minutes in the books. Late first half in this Cascadia rivalry. We all know how big the rivalry is between Portland, Seattle, and MLS. This rivalry in the NWSL between Portland and the Seattle-based OL Reign is just as big. No doubt the biggest rivalry in the league. With two great fan bases, especially the Thorns. Throwing for OL. This goes down the line. Won by Portland. Haran turns. Slide tackle from Quinn. But it fell right to Charlie, who was fouled from behind by Madison Hammond. Haran will take this free kick. Across it goes for Becky Sauerbrunt. Crystal Dunn wins the battle. Salem goes back for Hubley. Hubley's ball right up the middle, taken away by the rain. Can OL grab an equalizer late in this first half? Or will Portland double the advantage? 40th minute. As Hammond sends it back to Bardsley. Risky ball up the middle. Quinn heads it forward to King. It's won by Klingenberg. All the way back to their keeper, Adriana Franch. Franch will find Hubley, the left back tonight for the Thorns, although a little bit of a flexible role for Hubley, who's now more on that right side. She'll now shift back into position as the Thorns move it upfield. Here is Crystal Dunn. All right, sounds great, Henry. Yeah, sounds great, man. I appreciate it a lot. No problem. I understand that you got to go. Thanks for stopping by and supporting the channel. As this is played over the top, the header by Charlie goes right to the hands of Bardsley. Another good look for the Thorns. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing another Portland game. I'm actually from the Boston area, so my NWSL team was the Boston Breakers until they folded. So I don't have an NWSL team to root for, unfortunately, but I am a big fan of the league as a whole. But yeah, I'll definitely do another Portland game for sure. I mean, the Thorns could very well be in the final, and I plan to be on the call for the final. So that could very well be the next Portland game I do. And then, of course, after this Challenge Cup, there will be a whole NWSL season ahead. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing hopefully at least a couple more Portland Thorns games later in 2021. But yeah, for sure, I appreciate it, man. Celia Jimenez will take the OL Reign throw-in. Time winding down here in this first half of play. 42nd minute now. That's off of Dunn for an OL throw-in. Back out for another throw. OL will do it all over again. Jimenez gets it back from Hammond. Here's the cross. Dealt with by Hubley. And a stoppage in play, as it looks like that ball was actually out of bounds on the far side of the pitch. Yep. It will be a Thorns throw. Approaching first half stoppage time at Providence Park. This ball played to the other side. Here's Kuika. Stepping in was King as she pokes it out of play. Kuika will take the throw. The sun setting on a beautiful night in the Pacific Northwest from Portland, Oregon. That's a poor first touch as Charlie was looking to return it to Kuika. It will be a Reign throw-in. Kristen McNabb is there to take it. Coming up at halftime, I'll give you a midweek recap and go over the highlights and stats of this one as well. A lot of midweek action in the NWSL. After today, there'll be no games till Monday, as that's stolen in a dangerous area. Sinclair into Charlie. She's all the way through. Save made. The rebound saved off the line. A clearance off the line by OL. Sophia Smith denied in epic fashion. How about that save? At the goal line, Amber Brooks, I believe it was. Wow, what an opportunity for the Thorns. Portland taking a quick throw-in. We didn't have a chance to look at that replay, but my goodness, the Thorns were on the verge of a second goal. Here they come again. Cross floated into the back post. Charlie's header saved by Bardsley, as she couldn't handle it cleanly. In the end, kicked it out of play to avoid any rebound. And it will be a corner for the home side. Portland knocking on the door. I promise I'll get a look at that replay again of that chance, but not quite yet. Here's Haran. Dangerous ball. Edge of the box, bouncing around. It falls to Kuika. Kuika over to Crystal Dunn. Dunn ahead for Sinclair, but that is handled by Bardsley. What's going on, Rhea? Welcome into the stream. Appreciate you guys stopping by. If you enjoy what I do, if you enjoy the broadcast, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. That would be much appreciated. Seconds away now from stoppage time. Foul called against Sinclair. Perhaps advantage could have been given to OL, but foul was called. A quick restart. Here's Ziara King. Still no word on how much stoppage time we have in this first half. And there's our answer. None. The first half comes to a close at Providence Park. What a first half it was between the biggest rivals in the NWSL. That's much appreciated, Rhea. I'm glad you are enjoying the play-by-play. Still a whole nother half to go, everybody. So don't go anywhere. Lindsay Haran's beautiful free kick goal in the 17th minute has the hosts on top, and the Thorns 45 minutes away from punching their ticket to the final of the 2021 NWSL Challenge Cup. Still a whole 45 more minutes on the way from Providence Park. This one far from being over, that's for sure. Appreciate you guys stopping by on this Wednesday night. This Cascadia rivalry never seems to disappoint. Before I step aside, let's hear the halftime thoughts of Christine Sinclair.
In front of you in this first half.
I mean, we've had some good moments and some hard ones. We haven't played a lot together, but when we finally do settle the ball down and knock it around, you can see how talented we are. We just gotta try and fix those couple moments where, it turns a little ugly. Thank you.
All right, there you hear the words of Christine Sinclair, the Canadian international. 45 minutes down, 45 to go from Providence Park. Portland 1, OL 0 from Providence Park. After the break, I'll go over the highlights and stats in this one, and I'll talk about all the midweek action in a busy week around the NWSL in the Challenge Cup. That's all to come after this quick break. Stay tuned. Welcome into the halftime report, everybody. A good one between these two bitter rivals, the Portland Thorns leading OL Reign 1-0 at the break. Before I talk about the first half we just witnessed between these two sides, let's give you a midweek recap. And the game of the Challenge Cup so far took place last night. It was an epic one at Montclair State University in New Jersey as New York, New Jersey, Gotham FC we're put on a show, I should say, against the North Carolina Courage. Although the Courage certainly made things interesting throughout. This game went back and forth. It was 1-0 Gotham FC. Then North Carolina scored 2 to take the lead. Carly Lloyd would score later in the game. It would be 3-3 in a stoppage time. And then the home side would get the game-winning goal in the 92nd minute. 4-3 the final. New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC win an absolute thriller. Meanwhile, earlier tonight, in a game that was postponed from yesterday to today due to snow, it was Kansas City taking on Chicago, and a horrible mistake would be pounced on by Kansas City. They'd score, but quick to respond were the home side, Chicago Red Stars. A goal late in the second half would get them the point. A point apiece for both of those teams. 1-1 was the final. Also earlier tonight at Exploria Stadium in Orlando, it was Orlando Pride taking on the Washington Spirit in an East Division battle, and it would be Sydney Leroux's goal that would prove to be the difference, but there would be a great chance for the Spirit to equalize. Ashley Hatch taken down in the box, but from the spot, Ashlyn Harris would be the hero as she denied Hatch, and it was a great kick save as the Orlando Pride would hold on for the victory. A big-time win for the home team, Orlando, who did have their international players back in the lineup like all of these teams do, as Alex Morgan made the start, but it was Sydney Leroux's goal that proved to be the difference. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I do a professional job. That's what I try to do. I appreciate that a lot, guys. I remind you a lot of when your grandpa listened to baseball on the radio. That's awesome. I'm glad that's what I remind you of. I appreciate the support, guys. And after a quick break, I will be back going over the first half highlights of this game between Portland and the Reign. I'll also be looking at some stats as well. 1-0, it's Portland on top. The halftime report continues after this. Welcome back into the halftime report, everybody. 1-0 Portland in the lead. All right, no problem, no problem. I understand that you can't watch any longer tonight. I appreciate you stopping by, though. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in tonight. You'll be back for some of my future streams. Awesome to hear. Yep, I broadcast, I commentate a bunch of different sports, a bunch of different games. I try to do it all, to please a large audience. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing some more NWSL streams. That's for certain, as I will look over the first half highlights now between Portland and OL. And in the 17th minute, that would be when the opening goal of this match came. And what a goal it was. Lindsey Horan from a few yards outside the box, tipping it over the wall into the back of the net. A brilliant finish from the U.S. international Horan, opening the scoring. There'd be no other goals in the first half. However, in the 44th minute, what a look would be. Now we're finally getting a look at that goal line clearance. Sophia Smith from about 4 yards out had it cleared off the line. Talk about last-ditch defending. Bardsley was out of position after making the original save, but what a goal line clearance it was. It was actually Jimenez who was there to clear. It was all Portland for the most part in this first half. The shots 14-3 in favor of the hosts. Shots on goal 6-3. The Thorns had the edge in possession, 54 to 46%. 7 fouls against the Thorns, 5 against the Reign. Horan scoring in the 17th minute. Simone Charlie, not on the score sheet yet, but if she keeps it up, she probably will get on the score sheet in the second half. 6 shots, 4 on goal. 1-0, Portland on top. Still a whole nother half to be played. And that final 45-minute frame is coming your way after the break. We'll see who will come out on top in this Cascadia rivalry. I'll be back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Just about set to get the second half underway between the Portland Thorns and OL Reign. 1-0 the score. Lindsey Horan's goal. The difference after 45 minutes, but still 45 more minutes to play between these two rivals at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. Now, I was talking about that big news, huge news earlier in the week. OL Reign signing Olympic Lyon legends Sara Buhati and Jennifer Marozan. They both signed with the OL Reign on loan for the 2021 season. So I believe they're joining the team at the end of this week, flying from Portland all the way out to Oregon. Flying from France all the way out to Portland, all the way out to Seattle is what I should say. Sorry, I'm getting all mixed up. Nonetheless, you get the point. They'll be with the team soon. I think that they will be able to play perhaps in their next game in the Challenge Cup. I'll have to wait and see. And now right away in the second half, a chance for the Thorns. Sinclair finds Charlie trying to cut it back. It falls to Horan. What a save by Bardsley, but the rebound is put home, and Charlie has at last found the back of the net. I told you it was coming for her, and now it has. 40 seconds into the second half, it's Portland 2, OL Reign 0. It was a brilliant save from Karen Bardsley to deny Lindsey Horan originally, but from point-blank range, Charlie was there to tap in the rebound with the one-time finish. It was cut back towards the penalty spot, and that was just awful luck for OL. The attempted clearance by Jimenez deflected off of her teammate right to Horan. And, I thought she was going to score there. It's a great save by Bardsley. But as I said, on the rebound, no one marking Charlie as she was able to put it away. 2-0 the score. And now for the OL Reign, it's a even taller mountain to climb in the second half. Well, Charlie had 6 shots in the first half, and her 7th, seconds into the second half, goes into the back of the net, and Portland are in the driver's seat now. Remember, a win, and they're into the final. Here's Sophia Smith, Portland hungry for more. Smith has it poked away, and in the end, a corner kick will be conceded. Last touch by Brooks. The Portland Thorns starting the second half off with a bang, as Megan Klingenberg will stand over the set piece. It will be a right-footed in-swinging delivery. First corner of the second half. They had, I believe, 3 or 4 in the first half. Delivered to the near post. It falls to Smith. In the end, it's stolen away by OL. Played back to Quinn under some pressure here. Quinn has it poked away by Horan. One back by the Reign. Headed forward by Quinn, and now turning into space is Balser. The Reign switch the point of attack. Played ahead to Ziara King. King defended by Kuika. No halftime substitutions made, by the way, from either head coach, Mark Parsons or Fareed Benstiti. A steal there and a strike from distance goes just over. What a look for Sofia Huerta. Huerta's effort was so close to being on target. Came from just outside the penalty box. It was a costly giveaway. Sofia Huerta was part of 2018 NWSL second 11. As this is sent back to French. If OL can grab their first goal of the game, in the next 10 minutes or so, they're certainly they will certainly feed off of that momentum and regain some life as French gets a little cheeky in her own box, able to separate from the defender. Very risky business from Adriana French. What's going on, Jack? I assume it's Jack on Golden Hours channel over on Twitch. Here is Sophia Smith. Smith is in on goal. A chance at diving save made by Bardsley. Nearly a third for Portland. What a chance that was. I appreciate you tuning in, Jack. I'm actually on school break. It's school vacation week for me, so that's how I'm up doing this game. Yeah, it's April school vacation week for myself. So if it was a school night, I definitely wouldn't be up right now. Yeah, I know I'm lucky. Yeah, so I have the whole week up. You're pissed about the Embiid miss. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm sure you are. Hey, for you as a 76ers fan, Jack, you guys are in a I think you guys are in a better situation though than my Celtics. I mean, to be honest, you guys swept us in the regular season. So as Jess Fishlock will come in, Fishlock replacing King. So that's the substitution made by Fareed Ben-Stiti. Fishlock, a very experienced player. We could soon see Megan Rapinoe come off the bench as well for OL. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet. Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, who gets the 1 seed. Either you guys or Brooklyn. It's pretty close. You guys are like almost even in the standings, right? For my Celtics, we're just trying to get home court advantage in the playoffs. I don't even know if we'll be able to get the 4 seed. It's been a rough regular season for the Boston Celtics, but appreciate you stopping by over on Twitch, Jack. I've tuned into a few of your broadcasts when I've been able to. You guys keep up the great work as well. Yeah, we the Celtics are definitely a mess. Space opening up here for the Reign. Here's Quinn. Quinn sends it to the far side. Angelina chasing it down. She plays it back for Hammond. Now edge of the box. It's Jess Fishlock, who just came into the game. Now it's back with Quinn. This is better from OL. The ball pinballing at the edge of the box. And now it'll head out of play for a Reign throw-in. Early second half, 2-0. Portland Thorns leading the OL Reign in this rivalry game. You're just gonna stop commentating the Sixers games, yeah. I mean, once the playoffs come around, I'll be pretty much doing every Celtics game once that comes around. But I've been frustrated with the Celtics, so I haven't commentated one of their games in a while. Although I might do their game tomorrow night. They've got Phoenix, so they have Phoenix and then Brooklyn on a back-to-back tomorrow and Friday. So I'm not too hopeful for that because they just lost to the Bulls on Monday. So. Yeah, exactly. Well, once the playoffs come around, that's when I lock into my teams. Yeah, the playoffs are when the broadcasts are super exciting for sure. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Celtics and Bruins to start the playoffs. Here's Sophia Smith. Smith dancing on the ball, looking for Charlie. It ricocheted off her shin over the end line for an OL goal kick, or is it? No, that was last touched by the Reign, so a corner kick for the Thorns. But boy, are Portland lethal on the attack. They're certainly on the verge of a third goal. Sophia Smith leading the line. Here comes the set piece. The sun is down. The lights are on at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. Free kick on the far side. Driven ball in. It goes by everyone. Klingenberg now comes up for Portland. Great ball floated in. The header to the back post just wide. Lindsay Horan nearly finding her second of the night. What a chance that was. It was a beautiful delivery from Klingenberg. And then Horan was leaning back a bit, but nearly tucked it into that far post. Bardsley with a diving effort. It was just out of her reach and just wide of the post ultimately. 55th minute. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in across YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. We've got a great crowd tonight on YouTube, which is great to see. Appreciate it, guys, as Portland will make a change. Rocky Rodriguez entering the match as she comes on for Angela Salem. So Salem off, Rodriguez in. Rodriguez can certainly be an impact sub for this Portland team. They do have quite a bit of depth. And so that's the first change made by Mark Parsons and the Thorns. Oh, awesome, Drew. You just finished your video. First episode of Pretenders and Contenders. You just did the Knicks. Okay, cool. I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, if I'm available sometime, perhaps I could be on for Boston. Yeah. I mean, especially if it's just, a short video. I could probably find time one weekend or something. Karen Bardsley, the goalkeeper for OL Reign, has had 81 caps with the England national team. Yeah, I remember Bardsley very well from the 2019 World Cup when England made it to the semifinals before they were knocked out by the United States. But yeah, Bardsley, I think one of the top goalkeepers in the world. 10 to 20 minutes, cool. Yeah, I'll probably be able to join one of these times. Yeah, I just have to get up not that early, but kind of early because I'm going into Boston tomorrow. So, and here comes the substitution we were all waiting for as Megan Rapinoe comes into the match for OL Reign. She was the 2019 Women's World Cup Golden Ball and Golden Boot winner as she replaces Angelina. Could Megan Rapinoe be the super sub to get the Reign back into this game? She definitely has the talent to be that person with her team trailing 2-0. And I believe, this is Rapinoe's first appearance for the Reign since 2019. Remember, she didn't participate in the Challenge Cup or the Fall Series last year, as Pruitt has come on for Balser as well. So a double change made by the Reign. Some fresh legs out there. OL trailing by 2, needing some type of spark off the bench, and Megan Rapinoe could certainly be that player. And then Rapinoe, of course, was absent for the first 2 games of this year's Challenge Cup, as Weatherholt has come on for Shirley Cruz as well. So it was actually a triple change. I apologize. It was a triple change. So Rapinoe, Pruitt, and Weatherholt all into the game. A triple substitution from OL. Remember, there are 5 substitutions available for each team to make. Yeah, and so Rapinoe was absent for the first 2 games of this Challenge Cup because she was on international duty, of course, with the United States women's national team. We are closing in on the hour mark. Foul committed by Rapinoe. Free kick for Portland. Haran, Rapinoe's international teammate, was the one fouled. That was a beautiful goal by Haran in the first half on the free kick. Here's Klingenberg, who heads it back to Sauerbrunt. Sauerbrunt, a ball forward to Charlie. And now Charlie lays it back for Crystal Dunn. Dunn, such a great player, especially the last couple years. She's really burst onto the scene as a star for the U.S. women's national team and for Portland. Here's a cross to the near post, just ahead of Sophia Smith. And that's handled by Karen Bardsley. About a half hour to play. Header won by Sauerbrunt. As I said earlier in the first half, and it stands true up to this point, all the 50-50 balls seem to be won by Portland. As Quinn was fouled for OL. Free kick on the way for the Reign. 60 minutes played, 30 to go in this pivotal NWSL Challenge Cup clash in the West Division. Third game for Portland, the second for the Reign. OL tied Houston in the opener. That was in Tacoma, Washington, the home of the OL Reign, just outside of Seattle. Shots 19 for Portland. Yet if the OL Reign can grab a goal, it would certainly make for an interesting ending. These two rivals facing off for the first time this season. The regular season schedule hasn't been released yet, but I'm sure these two will be squared off at least once. As Sauerbrunt finds Klingenberg, a heavy collision there as Klingenberg laid it back to Sauerbrunt. She finds Smith in the middle. Smith lays it back, but it's off the mark for Haran. However, a foul is called. The referee was looking to play advantage. However, a foul called against Quinn in the midfield. And the Thorns catch a break. Rather, it was against Weatherholt. Weatherholt, a substitute for OL, whistled for the foul. If that foul had not been called, Megan Rapinoe was off to the races. Remember, Portland advanced to the Challenge Cup final with a win tonight. So right now, it's looking good for Portland, but still about a half hour to be played as they look to clinch the 3 points and clinch a spot in the final. And that's a whistle against Fishlock this time. Remember, just one team, the winner from each division, makes it to the Challenge Cup final. Those are the only two teams that advance out of 5 in each division. So it's a very, very difficult, format of the tournament. Of course, in last year's Challenge Cup, all 8 teams made it to the knockout stages, with the quarterfinals being set based on how the teams did in the group stage, but a much different format this time around in the Challenge Cup. I think in part why they formatted it that way last season was because they were unsure if there'd be, at that time, they were unsure if they'd have, anything else after the Challenge Cup because of the pandemic. At first it was thought that the NWSL Challenge Cup would be the only action of the season in the NWSL. So I think that's why they wanted to play, more games, as many games as they could, which was 7 total for the teams that made the final. But of course, they'd play the fall series after that, which was organized after the Challenge Cup concluded. It was definitely a weird season last year because of COVID, but now we get a full one as Klingenberg sends in the free kick. Haran was in the area, but it's cleared by the OL Reign. Can they spark a counterattack here? Ball played ahead. Fishlock, the ensuing runner, sent out a play for an OL Reign throw-in. Fishlock looking to take it quickly. The OL Reign trying to up the tempo here. Sofia Huerta near the corner had her cross deflect back off of her. It was blocked by Dunn. It's great defending by Crystal Dunn as the Thorns earn a throw-in. '64th minute. Appreciate all of you tuning in, especially for those of you on the East Coast. Late night action, NWSL After Dark. This game started shortly after 7 local time in Portland. But I knew I had to call this one. I can't avoid calling a big game like this a rivalry game. Just like I always try to call the match when Seattle and Portland face off in MLS. Timbers and Sounders is always must watch, just like when these two teams face off, it's usually must watch. This goes out wide for Huerta. The OL Reign looking for their first goal. That's sent in the box by Huerta. Headed clear by the Thorns. Now Charlie finds Smith, and a push from behind by Brooks, worthy of a foul and a yellow card as well. First booking of the game. So Brooks is cautioned. A lot of fouls committed by OL in the second half. She was right on the tail of Smith, and a rather easy decision for the referee. Deciding it was worthy of a booking. 25 minutes to go at Providence Park. The referee wasn't done recording, or rather writing down the player that was booked, as the free kick is now taken, sent in by Sauerbrunt. It falls to the feet of Dunn. Dunn on the turn sends it over. A left-footed effort. Couldn't keep it low. As the goal kick's taken by Bardsley. In the midfield, it's Fishlock. Rapinoe hasn't really been involved that much since coming on. Nice move by Hammond. As the OL Reign deal with some pressure at the back. It'll be moved out wide to Celia Jimenez. Celia Jimenez into Quint. Oh, beautiful service down the right-hand side. It's Jimenez. Jimenez to the back post. Rapinoe's header just wide. And what I think was Rapinoe's first touch of the match. It was so close to finding the back of the net. The service came to the back post, and Rapinoe's effort marginally wide, although French did have that far post covered, it appeared. What an opportunity, and Rapinoe knows it was a great look. A service of perfection from Jimenez. I appreciate you tuning in for Stephen. As Smith is on the attack, I'll answer your question in a moment. Here's Smith onto her right foot. Smith's strike did take a deflection. It will be a corner on the way for the Thorns. Unfortunately, I can't point the camera towards the screen. I wish I could show it for you guys, but YouTube is very strict with their copyright rules. And you know, I don't want to risk it. I've had a friend who does commentary like I do, and he used to show the games a little when he commentated for his audience, and his channel got banned for like 3 months. So I don't want to risk that happening. YouTube's very strict with their copyright rules, so I don't want to be caught with a copyright infringement by showing the game. So I apologize, Stephen. That's why I put in the description that this is my live play-by-play commentary of the game. Unfortunately, I can't show it for copyright reasons. I hope you understand. I would show it if I was allowed to. But, you know, I want to keep my channel. I don't want my channel to be banned. What a move here by Charlie. Charlie on her left foot goes for a goal. That effort blocked. And now it'll roll out of play for a Portland throw-in. 3/4 through the match. 2-0 Thorns on top. And now a double change coming from Mark Parsons and the Thorns, their second and third substitutions of the night. Simone Charlie will come out. She got her goal early in the second half, just seconds into the second half, in fact, as she gets a standing ovation from the Portland faithful at Providence Park. She'll be replaced by Lucy. And Christine Sinclair will also be coming off. It's a rather quiet night from Sinclair, but her team getting the job done so far up until this point, as she's replaced by Burrell. Sorry, Bourret. I gotta have the French accent. Try my best with pronunciations. Try to sound as professional as possible and get the pronunciations right. But you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, unfortunately. I try my best. 50-50 ball fought for. Haran wins the battle. There were shouts for a handball against Turan. Nothing called. Plays allowed to continue. The Reign come away with a steal. With it here is Fishlock. All it takes is one opportunity, and the Reign are right back into it. Rapinoe's cross blocked. Now it falls to the feet of, it looked like McNabb. It was McNabb. Now here is Rapinoe once more. Good service in. The header flicked on, and it goes just wide of the goal. It's been some good deliveries from both the left and right side. It was Pruitt with the chance. A glancing header with 20 minutes to play. Still 2-0. The Thorns on top. Tyler Lucy, who just came in for Portland, was the number 21 overall pick in the 2017 NWSL draft. And she can certainly be an impact sub for this team. And here she is on the ball. However, it was just a hair in front of the last defender of OL. The flag raised. Offsides called. As Bardsley will take the free kick herself. The Reign running out of time. Still some time left, but they do trail by a pair of goals with about 20 minutes to play at Providence Park. Foul called against the Reign. The whistle going against Celia Jimenez. Free kick right around midfield. Klingenberg will be in no hurry to take it. We're getting to that stage of the game where the Thorns are, trying to milk the clock as much as they can. This is out wide for Horan. Here's Lindsay Horan. Her pass blocked and now sent away by OL. Here's Sofia Huerta in the midfield, and a heavy tackle from Horan. It's one worthy of a yellow. So there's the second booking of the match. Horan got all of Huerta and none of the ball. Horan's no stranger to yellow cards. Don't get me wrong. She's a great player, but sometimes her emotions can get the better of her. That wasn't that wasn't a case of her getting frustrated. That was just her trying to purely win the ball back, and just a bad tackle. Long ball here on the free kick, but Pruitt is offsides. As Klingenberg is down, clutching her left wrist, it appears. The referee having a word with Pruitt, and Klingenberg seems to be in quite a bit of distress. One of the leaders of this Portland team. Let's look back at this. Yeah, it was a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. And I guess it was the impact of the contact absorbed from Pruitt. Megan Klingenberg was part of the 2017 NWSL second 11. Long-time player, veteran in this league. She appears to be all right. She will be able to continue. No medical attention needed. It's been a clean game for the most part, especially considering it is a rivalry game. Yes, there have been a number of fouls, but nothing over the top. As this goes wide, tapped ahead by Jimenez. Challenge there from Horan. Jimenez wanted the free kick, didn't get it. Just over a quarter of an hour to play at Providence Park. Thanks everyone for being a part of the broadcast. Late night on the East Coast, where I'm from. I love some NWSL After Dark. And if Portland can hold on to this result, they will be the first of two teams to clinch their spot in the NWSL Challenge Cup final. Here comes Crystal Dunn. Dunn laying it off. Now clipped in. Smith was in the area. It's cleared away. Nice defending by the Reign. Now it's Megan Rapinoe. Rapinoe with not much support has it stolen by Kuika. Now Haran. Clipped ahead to Sophia Smith. Smith and Jimenez were fighting for it, and in the end, it's Celia Jimenez who's called for the foul. She's certainly voicing her frustration. She thought she was fouled a little while ago, and this time she feels like she was hard done by being called for the foul on this occasion. Klingenberg will take the free kick. Latter stages of this one. A 2-0 lead for the Thorns. Klingenberg goes short, gets the return pass from Sauerbrunt. Klingenberg back for Sauerbrun. Ball served in. Sent sky high into the air. Dunn wins the header. Coming in was Fishlock, and there's a steal by the veteran for OL Reign. Portland are getting set to make their final two substitutions at most likely the next stoppage. And there is a foul against OL. The whistle against Weatherholt. And the Reign will make a change of their own right now, as a matter of fact. This is their final change, as Shannon Box will come into the game. She's still around. I meant Cox. No, Box retired. I'm getting all mixed up. It's late night. Give me some slack. Cox will come on. She's also a veteran, though, as she replaces Krista McNabb. I thought McNabb had a solid game at left back, and now here comes that double change I was alluding to from Portland. As Klingenberg will make way. She gets a round of applause from the fans. Pogarch will come on for her. And then we'll see what the other changes. Sophia Smith will come out. Smith didn't get her goal, but certainly put in a good shift. And the ball's served into the box. Bardsley is there to claim it. All right, Smith was replaced by Morgan Weaver. Weaver was the number 2 overall pick in the 2020 NWSL draft. Weaver's in a tough spot because Smith was dealing with an injury for most of last season. So Weaver got a lot of that playing time up top. But now with Smith healthy, perhaps Weaver will have to settle for that role off the bench. But with her being, the number 1 overall pick in last year's draft, you have to think Mark Parsons will feature her in the starting lineup going forward. Perhaps they could play with 2 up top. I think it could work with both Weaver and Smith up top as the 2 strikers. It'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out. But yeah, Weaver certainly impressed me at the Challenge Cup last year. I didn't watch a whole lot of the fall series, although I was locked in for the Challenge Cup because it was honestly one of the only sports going on at that time. It was that in the MLS's back tournament that I was pretty much focused in on at that time period. In fact, when the Challenge Cup got underway, that was really the only thing going on here in the U.S. Other than that, it was just the European leagues. But yeah, I watched a lot of that Challenge Cup last summer, and Weaver was certainly impressive, I thought. As I said, I didn't watch much of the fall series, but Weaver certainly the number one pick for a reason. This falls to Rapinoe. Rapinoe onto her left foot. Rapinoe the strike. Save made at the near post by Franch. The attempted clearance is pinballing through the box, and eventually it's sent away. Only as far as Weatherholt, though. Weatherholt into the box. Cleared away once more by Portland. Wow, the OL Reign have come on a few occasions now very close to their opening goal. French denying Megan Rapinoe. It's a great slide tackle and a takeaway from Quinn. 80th minute now. This is back with Brooks. Here is Rapinoe. And that's out for a corner kick. So Rapinoe will head over to take this corner for the OL Reign. 10 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Sent in and headed by Becky Sauerbrunn. Sauerbrunn to the rescue there for the Thorns. The captain coming up big. Now it'll be a corner kick on the near side. Another set piece for OL. And Rapinoe once again standing over it. This time it's a low-driven ball. Sent back out wide towards Rapinoe. Rapinoe curling one in towards the penalty spot. The attempted clearance only gets as far as Sofia Huerta. The Reign with their best spell of chances here in these last few minutes. They trail by too late. Cox cuts it back to Fishlock. Now play to the end line. Sliding effort to keep it in play. But right there is Haran as she sends it downfield. That'll head out of play right at midfield for an OL throw. Quickly taken by Madison Hammond. Number 99, by the way. You don't see number 99 every day in professional soccer. In any sport, really. Well, for the most part. Here is Rapinoe. Rapinoe. Defended by Haran. Haran lunges in and comes up with the steal. Beautifully done by Lindsay Haran as she sends it forward, unleashing Tyler Lucy. Lucy can't get there, though, as Hammond sends it back to Bardsley. 82nd minute now. Lanier, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, over on Twitch. Thanks for tuning in. I'm making you nervous. Why is that? Are you are you a fan of one of these teams? I assume you are if I'm making you nervous. But yeah, this is a bit of a nervy ending. I know it's a 2-goal game, but OL Reign certainly, fighting to the end here, even though they're yet to score a goal. That's a takeaway in the midfield by Portland. Played ahead to Crystal Dunn. Dunn finds Weaver. Weaver, a chance on her right foot. Oh, it's just wide. Morgan Weaver was going for the top right corner, and that would have been the dagger. You're a fan of the Thorns? Okay, yeah, I mean, hey, they're in a good position right now. A 2-0 lead. Was it now the 84th minute? So, but it's not done yet. It's not done yet. I'm not meaning to make you nervous, but I'm just calling the game. Not meaning to make you nervous at all. Here's another chance for the Thorns right off the Bardsley goal kick, but it was mishit on the left-footed strike. NWSL Challenge Cup action continues next Saturday at 7:30 Eastern Time when North Carolina faces Orlando. That should be one heck of a game. North Carolina, always a favorite in the NWSL. Although, they've lost some players. Sam Mewis and Abby Dahlkemper, the two notable players that are now in England, both with Manchester City. So the Courage aren't the dominant team they were the last few seasons. Of course, they were the team to beat in the NWSL. It's not that way anymore, I don't think. I think it's a much more even playing field. And then Orlando have looked pretty solid so far, getting a win earlier tonight against the Washington Spirit. Yeah, well, this has been a pretty good game, I will say. When these two teams meet, it usually never disappoints. The best rivalry in the NWSL. Throw-in goes to Horan, although it's won back by the Reign. Tapped out of play by Kelly Hubley. 5 minutes and change to go. We'll see how much second half stoppage time there is. There was no added time in the first half of play, as Celia Jimenez will take the throw in 4-0 out. Jimenez to Pruitt. Pruitt chasing it down the sideline and plows over Pogarch. A foul is called. The Thorns will be in no hurry to take this free kick. The shot's 25-8 Portland. The Thorns have been the better team throughout, but they haven't run away with this game by any means. Headed out of play by the Reign. Another throw in for the Thorns. Shots on goal are 10-3 Portland. And the Reign have had some chances, but compared to Portland, they haven't had many. Here's Morgan Weaver, the substitute. It was the #1 overall pick last year. Of course, this year the #1 overall pick was I'm blanking out her name now. Emily Fox out of UNC. The second overall pick was Trinity Rodman, who is the daughter of Dennis Rodman. Rodman's been looking good so far with Washington. Emily Fox with the expansion team Racing Louisville. As that cross is handled by Karen Bardsley. The throw, though, is stolen, and that takes a massive deflection. Bardsley is out to claim it. That was nearly a third for the Thorns. 87th minute now. On the ball is Weatherholt. That pass turned over. It's a giveaway in the midfield. Crystal Dunn, the long ball forward. Can Morgan Weaver get there? Yes, she can. Weaver at the end line. Plays it back. The one-time strike curls wide from Lindsay Horan. Horan frustrated with the outcome. She scored the opening goal. Now looking for the closing goal here in the late stages of the second half. Bardsley takes the goal kick. Foul called against Portland. OL clinging on to a little bit of hope, but it's running out in a hurry. There'll probably be a decent amount of stoppage time, but still 2 goals needed for the Reign, who haven't managed to score all game long through 88 minutes. It's thrown in down the line. It's a great pass to Rapinoe. Rapinoe. Pass to the edge of the box. The one-time strike is blocked. That was a great look for Huerta. And now at the other end, here comes Weaver streaking forward. A heavy collision. But play continues. That ball ends up wide with Horan. Horan. Cross. Dunn lays it back. Weaver cutting it. But it's stolen by the Reign in the end. Here's Megan Rapinoe. Rapinoe's knocked off the ball. Possession won back by Portland. No foul called. A clean takeaway by OL according to the official. 1 minute away from second half stoppage time. That's a poor pass Oh, well, need to be clinical at this stage of the game, trailing by 2. Here is Dunn. Dunn sending it through. Weaver is in. Weaver off the side netting, going for the near post. Time and time again, you thought the Thorns had a third goal, but they're still searching for it. What a beautiful pass. Dunn setting up Weaver. Looking to curl that into the near corner. Trying to slip it by Bardsley at the near post. In the end, just missed the target. 10 seconds away now from second half stoppage time. And there is our amount of stoppage time. 4 minutes are being added on to the end of the second half, with the Thorns up 2-0 over their rivals. That's sent out a play for a Portland throw-in. Will there be any type of late drama, or will Portland claim victory rather comfortably in the end? That's turned over. The Rain need a goal sooner rather than later. Rapinoe ahead for Fishlock. Great pass. Fishlock has Huerta across. It's just beyond Huerta, who will chase it down at the edge of the box. Haran tracking back, can't quite win it. Huerta's ball in, cleared away. It's back with the Rain. This is Jimenez for Quinn. Now Huerta. Once again, it's Quinn. Just under 3 minutes to play at Providence Park. Oh, a great pass. The curling effort, though, sent wide by Pruitt. And that might just end this one. 3 points up for grabs, and it seems like the Thorns will earn those 3 points and clinch first place in the West Division, thus clinching a spot in the Challenge Cup final for Portland, who have been perfect through 3 games as long as they hold on to the victory here with 2 minutes to play. And they want to really put this game to bed. Here's Dunn. Off the head of Lucy. Her strike is over the bar for a goal kick. Halfway point of stoppage time now. The goal kick lands to the feet of Haran. Dunn to Haran, back to Crystal Dunn. Those 2 teammates with the U.S. women's national team. That pass, nobody stepped up for Portland, and it's taken away by OL. Rapinoe. Now Huerta lofts one in, but off the hop, it's caught by French, and just about a minute remaining now in Portland, Oregon. This is sent ahead to Weaver. Weaver moving towards the corner flag. Can't keep it in. It is a Rain throw-in. Becky Sauerbrunn wins the battle. "30 seconds to go now. It's all the way back with French. French with the return pass. With it is Kuika. Kuika up the line. Oh, well, back in possession, but that should just about put a bow on this one as Bardsley sends it upfield. Flicked on by the head of Huerta, and that is all. The final score in this rivalry game. The Portland Thorns 2, OL Reign 0. It was certainly a rivalry game that Portland were in control of throughout. The Reign had their chances, but just never capitalized. And Portland certainly had a plethora of opportunities, could have easily had more than the 2 goals they tallied tonight. But the Thorns get the job done. No problem, Alexis. I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary. And yeah, the Thorns get the win. And Portland clinch the #1 seed in the West Division, and they have clinched a spot in the Challenge Cup final with 1 game to spare. 2-0 the final. The Portland Thorns defeat OL Reign. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for more commentary. As I'm Samuel Reese signing off, saying good night. Portland win the rivalry game.